Nigeria's financial inclusion and literacy gains renewed hope as federal government flags off training of 10 million people.
Let us build a financial system where professionalism deepens trust, capacity unlocks opportunity, and inclusion becomes a lived reality for every Nigerian.
African Petroleum Producers Organization takes over Energy Bank to give continent's energy sector a shot on the arm.
We have exceeded our part. That one will be squarely within Apple and then African Bank with the consultants to ensure that we do what is needed for the bank to take.
Plus excitement as traders return to Monday trading in Onitsha main market after 5 years of sit at home.
Some people have patronized me this morning, but we are expecting more patronage from other neighboring states and communities.
And speaking of excitement, I'm also excited to have you join us on the network news on NTA. I'm Naja'atu Tijani, and joining me on the news tonight are my usual partners on the business and sports segment. But first, Adiola in Lagos. Right here in Abuja, Musa Abubakar and Ayo Makinde will have business and sports highlights. Musa?
Central Bank calls for coordinated push in fintech sector.
And Ayo?
Atletico Madrid officially announced the signing of Ademola Lookman on the day there's rededication to grassroots sports development in the country.
All right, we look forward to the details. Do remember that this broadcast is being streamed live on our website, nta.ng/live, and you can follow us across social media. Our handles are displayed on the screen. And now the news in detail. The federal government has flagged off a free nationwide training of 10 million Nigerians on financial inclusion and literacy. The training being undertaken by the Office of the Vice President through the Presidential Committee on Economic and Financial Inclusion, chaired by Vice President Kashim Shettima, is designed to equip Nigerians, particularly women and youth, with essential financial skills, investment knowledge, and digital competencies for sustainable wealth creation. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila breaks it down for us.
This meeting with these stakeholders is aimed at making Nigeria reap bountifully from its demographic dividend, equipped with the needed skills and ethical grounding required for a speedily progressing digital economy. Signing a memorandum of understanding with 6 professional bodies to jointly design training programs, certification pathways, digital skills initiatives, and mentorship platforms that will strengthen Nigeria's financial and enterprise workforce.
The collaboration between our flagship She's Included initiative and OYO Africa symbolizes a formidable strategy, not only to train 10 million Nigerians, especially women and youth, in over 6,000 accredited courses, but to uplift them by the year 2030. Together, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let us build a financial system where professionalism deepens trust, capacity unlocks opportunity, and inclusion becomes a lived reality for every Nigerian.
This is a strategic national investment in capacity as infrastructure, which is the human, institutional, and ethical foundations upon which inclusive growth must rest.
Even providing a platform where entrepreneurs can actually do their trainings, they can have their way, can trade their doing. We can also leverage on this to be able to catch on the AFCFTA, which is the continental policy for Nigeria to lead the way in the export as well as other economic activities. So basically, that is what we achieved today.
We are signing an agreement for financial inclusion so that everybody in Nigeria will come into formal sector, and that will help even the new tax law so that people will be able to transact in a formal way through banking system and take credit, manage their finances very well.
Exclusion is not only by lack of access, but by limited skills, weak institutional capacity, and insufficient professional support. And the professional bodies saddled with this responsibility include the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers, National Institute of Credit Administration, Chartered Risk Management Institute, and the Nigeria Institute of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Africa has taken a decisive step towards achieving energy sovereignty with the official handover of the African Energy Bank, a landmark institution designed to finance the continent's energy needs and strengthen its energy value chains. Lydia Sampson reports on the handing over ceremony, which took place on the sidelines of the Nigeria International Energy Summit here in Abuja.
Bank, jointly established by APO member states and Afrexim Bank, aims to mobilize domestic capital for energy infrastructure, reduce Africa's dependence on foreign financing, and align investment with the continent's long-term development goals.
Our own, is that we will hand over our own. Nigeria has also paid off our own part of, we have exceeded our part. That one will be squarely within APO and then Afrexim Bank, with the consultants to ensure that we do what is needed for the bank to take.
Africa has long been exposed to volatility of global energy finance, creating uncertainty and delayed investment in the sector. The Africa Energy Bank is designed as a stabilizing anchor.
The event underscored a unified African resolve to control and benefit from its abundant natural resources. By offering targeted financial instruments, the bank will finance projects that enhance exploration, refining, renewable integration, and local content development, ensuring that African resources translate into tangible value creation.
We are all committed to launch this bank as soon as possible, no later than June this year.
By agreeing to host the headquarters of this strategic institution, Nigeria reaffirms its leading role in building a more integrated, resilient, and action-oriented African energy architecture.
Speakers at the ceremony emphasized that the new institution is not merely a financial entity, but a cornerstone of Africa's quest for economic independence and lasting energy security. They noted that this handover signals a new era in which Africans are determined to finance, produce, and sustain their own energy future. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
The federal government says doubt and confusion about Nigeria as a country which respects religious freedom is over. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, reaffirmed this while addressing journalists after delivering the 34th Convocation Lecture at the Federal University of Technology, Minna. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
With the United States of America, which has shown concern and commitment.
Nigeria, as a policy, will continue to engage with the United States. We'll continue to engage with all our international partners, including our sub-regional bodies, to ensure that we have a safe region for everyone to live in. There is no place for extremism in our soil, and we are working hard. And we are glad that the United States of America particularly has taken that interest to see that Nigeria's position is strengthened to fight these terrorists wherever they may be.
The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway and Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway, he highlighted, are designed to propel all-round development.
And it's not just about building roads, it's also bringing about reform in agriculture, because so many dams are going to also be constructed along that line to increase our ability to take in power, electricity. It will also make irrigation very possible for states along that corridor. So in a way, it's holistic. Once you engage in massive infrastructure, like President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing, you are also employing people, you are bringing economy back to life, you are ensuring that all these young men and women who will hitherto roam the streets or roam the forest, will also have, the benefit of participating in some of these reforms, and then we'll all be better for it.
The minister was a guest lecturer at the Federal University of Technology, Minna, on the topic, Youth and Nation Building, Navigating Opportunities in an Era of Natural Reforms. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
On the political front, key stakeholders and members of the All Progressives Congress in Katsina State have endorsed the aspirations of President Bola Tinubu and Governor Dikko Umaru Radda for a second term in office. The endorsement was announced at a grand gathering of party loyalists in the state, held to commend what they term the visionary leadership of the ruling party at both national and state levels. Awal Haliru reports.
Muhammadu Dukko Stadium in Katsina was filled to capacity with loyalists and key political figures of the ruling party from across the country gathered to show their appreciation and call for the continuity of Governor Dikko Umaru Radda and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The atmosphere was electric as supporters reiterated their confidence in the leadership of the All Progressives Congress. Governor Radda, alongside other key stakeholders, including the Deputy Senate President, Senator Barrow Jibrin, emphasized that the APC is committed to improving the standard of living of Nigerians, stressing the need for continued support for the party's leadership.
Katsina State is an APC state. You hardly find a state that has the structure of APC that we have in Katsina State. Where I commend the people of Katsina State, while I continue to commend them, and particular stakeholders, is the fact that they want to be in the mainstream of our political life.
Party leaders pledged to continue working towards ensuring the success and progress of the APC ahead of the 2027 general elections.
They are happy with Mr. President's policy and reforms. They are happy with the Renewable agenda, and Dikko Umar Radda has done extremely excellently well.
It's timely, and there is the full support of all APC members in Katsina State. I'm sure of that.
APC National Chairman welcomed new members in the state who have defected to the party from other political parties. In Katsina, Awal Haliru, NTA News.
Similarly, the Tinubu Grassroots Support for Continuity Project 2027 has inaugurated its Kebbi State Executive Committee to strengthen grassroots coordination across the state. Hassana Abubakar Koko reports.
These are the newly inaugurated executive members of the Tinubu Grassroots Support for Continuity Project 2027 in Kebbi State, charged with mobilizing grassroots support for federal government policies under the Renewed Hope agenda. Governor Nasir Idris, represented at the event, urged the executives to take the message to the grassroots, strengthen engagement and sustain support for policies aimed at national development.
We will continue to give maximum support needed to the group.
The Renewed Hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was described as impacting key sectors of the economy, including infrastructure, social welfare, agriculture, as well as women and youth empowerment.
More than 30 trillion naira has already been disbursed for the benefit of the grassroots to fight the poverty across the country.
I am highly impressed with the group's mission of engaging and mobilizing the grassroots. The event also witnessed the official commissioning of the group's office in Kebbi State. In Birnin Kebbi, Hassana Abubakar Koko, NTA News.
APC members in Oyo's Central Senatorial District have also reaffirmed their commitment to support President Bola Tinubu's sole candidacy and to deliver Oyo State to the party come 2027. They made the pledge at the maiden APC meeting in the constituency as the senator representing Oyo Central, Yunus Akintunde, met with APC stakeholders to present his scorecard. Kemioshin reports.
The gathering itself was a statement made with their number and resolve to continue to ensure grassroots development and dividends of democracy made possible by the Renewed Hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu's administration. Senator Yunus Akintunde commended the leadership of President Tinubu and the progressive ideals of the party, as well as improved engagement across the 11 local government areas of Oyo Central Senatorial District.
I have 79 schools, renovation to my credit. I have 6 bills to my credit. I have 2 motions to my credit. I have medical services, road, and so on. And what I've said here today is to report back to people that gave me their mandate. As far as Oyo State is concerned, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu will be the sole candidate of our party.
Other politicians from Oyo Central lauded the people-centered governance and called for continuity in 2027.
People from the opposition are also coming into APC to work for Asiwaju, not because of the party itself, because of the symbol of the party. And who is the symbol? It's because of Asiwaju.
Whatever candidate emerges in our states is a candidate we're all going to fall behind.
The party also called on members to take advantage of the extension period for the APC membership e-registration exercise to obtain their valid APC membership card and participate in party activities. From Oyo, Kemioshi, NTA News.
The party, that's the All Progressives Congress, is also saying that the African Democratic Congress is terrified by its massive membership registration in the ongoing electronic registration exercise. In a statement, National Publicity Secretary Felix Morka describes allegations that the party is forcibly registering civil servants as entirely false and baseless, and seeks to cast a shadow over the cutting-edge and path-breaking digitization of the party's membership register. Morka says the path of ADC's disinformation campaign, which includes the fabrication and circulation of a fake, quote, APC membership slip, unquote, purports that a notorious terrorist registered as a member of APC, which is far from reality. Morka explains that the success of the exercise has led to the extension of the January 31 deadline owing to popular demand, and it urges ADC to put its house in order. The leadership of the People's Democratic Party's Board of Trustees and the Forum of PDP State Chairmen have declared that the Kabiru Tanimu Turaiki-led National Working Committee remains firmly in charge despite a judgment delivered by the Federal High Court in Ibadan, Oyo State. Both party organs say the ruling, which touches on the PDP National Convention held in Ibadan on November 15 and 16, 2025, does not invalidate the existing leadership, as the core issues are already before the Court of Appeal. And Timothy Yusuf tells us more.
The party has taken steps to prevent any disruption. These words of assurance form the central message of the PDP Board of Trustees and the Forum of PDP State Chairmen following the recent Oyo High Court judgment. The BOT spoke through its chairman, Senator Adolphus Wabara, while the Forum of State Chairmen spoke through its chairman, Tony Azigbemi. The PDP BOT described the Ibadan judgment as lacking practical effect, arguing that it has been overtaken by events at the appellate level. On its part, the Forum of PDP State Chairmen, representing 30 states of the Federation, echoed the BOT's position, declaring total loyalty to the national leadership produced by the Ibadan Convention. The State Chairman also faulted the Ibadan judgment, noting that while the court declined the relief of mandamus, it went on to grant reliefs that were neither sought nor argued, and which they said conflict with existing judgments of courts of coordinate jurisdiction. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
You're watching the news on Network News on NTA. There will be more reports in a moment. 9 suspects have been arraigned before the Federal High Court, Abuja, for their alleged involvement in the killing of more than 150 Nigerians in Yelwata community in Guma local government area of Benue State on 13th June 2025. Dele Atumbi of our Judiciary desk reports.
9 suspects who are facing 57 counts charge are Adolawa Muhammad Dono, Ado Muhammad Seidu, Aruna Abdullahi, Yakubu Adamu, Musa Muhammad, Abubakar Adamu, Seidu Ibrahim, Saleh Muhammad, and Bako Jibril. At the commencement of proceedings, Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi SAN, informed the court that a 57 amended counts had been filed against the defendants. The amended charge was filed on January 20, 2026. Fagbemi SAN also prayed the court to strike out the name of Yakubu Maman, a defendant, leaving the remaining 9 to take their plea. Since there were no objections from the defense counsel, consequently, Yakubu Maman was removed from the amended charge. The presiding judge, Justice Joyce Abdul Malik, also struck out the previous charge filed on September 10, 2025, which had 8 defendants listed. All the 9 defendants present in court pleaded not guilty to the 57 counts charge. The matter has been adjourned to 26 February 2026 for commencement of trial. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Now, Nigeria hosts the 2026 Spark Africa Translational Research Bootcamp and Scientific Conference, a high-level gathering to strengthen translational research across the continent. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, at the opening session in Abuja, outlined how the federal government is prioritizing science and research to drive innovation, achieve sustainable healthcare goals, and unlock wider economic benefits. Olusheye Adiabu reports.
The global health community is still contending with the aftershocks of COVID-19, particularly disruptions to supply chains, as scientists and research leaders intensify efforts to bridge the gap between laboratory discoveries and real-world healthcare impacts.
I think healthcare is really too important to a society to rely on outsiders to set the research agenda. The agenda should be set by Africans, and these products should be developed in Africa for Africans.
The 2026 Spark Africa Translational Research Bootcamp and Scientific Conference is providing a platform for researchers, policymakers, and industry stakeholders from across Africa to enhance translational research to strengthen local manufacturing, set the continent's health agenda, and take ownership of healthcare delivery.
The Stanford University experts who have flown all the way from California to contribute in this shows the recognition globally of the opportunity that has been provided by the reforms of this administration in the health sector.
So this is of immense value to Nigerians, and is in line with the vision set out by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Honorable Coordinating Minister of Health into basically unlocking the healthcare evolution.
We have the capacity here in Africa to use our own intellectual capital, leverage our biodiversity, and solve our problems.
Participants have expressed optimism that the knowledge shared and networks built at the conference will accelerate the translation of African-led research into practical solutions. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA.
And we head to Borno State, where the government is commending the federal government for providing food and other essential items to support the safe and dignified return of Nigerian refugees from Cameroon. The commendation follows the deployment of relief materials by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons. Pauline Kuji-Vana reports.
To cushion the challenges of resettlement, the Refugees Commission delivers substantial quantities of relief materials, including bags of rice, beans and millet, 617 gallons of cooking oil, assorted condiments, as well as building materials to support the reconstruction of homes. The intervention comes as preparations intensify for the next phase of the voluntary repatriation exercise, jointly coordinated by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and internally displaced persons, Borno State Government, and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR. According to the chairman subcommittee on repatriation, Lawan Abawakilbe, so far more than 3,000 returnees have been successfully resettled in Pulka and Banki, where integration and stabilization efforts are ongoing.
Even in Bama here, we are looking at completion of Mainti, settlement of Termoa Kumshe. In Goza, we are looking at Ashigashia. You could see Wala Warabe, fully settled. You could credit the Borno State government for resettlement. We have returned everybody back to 27 of our local government.
Officials of Borno State government describe the support as timely and critical, stressing that sustainable reintegration requires sustained humanitarian assistance alongside effective coordination among stakeholders. Some of the returnees expressed gratitude for the gesture, noting that the support will help them rebuild their lives after spending more than a decade in exile. The food and non-food items are aimed at easing the resettlement of returnees as they begin new lives back home. In Maiduguri, Paul Nkujevana, NTA News.
It's time to join Adiola in our Lagos Network Center for more on the network news. Adiola.
Thank you, Najetu, for joining us in Lagos. Experts have called on federal government not to relax or go back on implementation of policies that will redirect the nation's economy to the right path. This call was made following the country's generation from non-oil export meeting a significant revenue of $6.1 billion in 2025. Bolaji Akim completes the story.
Trade relationship with countries across the globe has been one of the major sources of revenue generation for Nigeria. Before now, the country's major export and source of foreign income has been from oil produce. However, by 2025, there was a change in the narrative as non-oil export revenue from the country hit a significant record of $6.1 billion. This figure, according to Nigeria Export Promotion Council, is the highest compared to $5.4 billion that was achieved in 2024. Experts believe this success is as a result of trade policies initiated by the present administration.
That performance was actually propelled by strategic shift on the part of the present government towards economic diversification. That is, trying to reduce reliance on crude oil.
The record also shows that about 281 different products were exported in 2025. This includes cocoa beans, urea, cashew nuts, sesame seeds, and other agricultural products. While the government policy that facilitates free trade is being identified as a pointer to this success, stakeholders are of the opinion that sustaining this will contribute largely to the economy of the country and also serve as a source of job creation.
Economists are happy now that the Nigerian economy that has been bleeding over the years, the bleeding has stopped in terms of our export minus imports being positive value now. And that's one of the ways to say, oh, the economy has been stabilized.
While Nigerians are commending the giant stride, experts are calling on governments to intensify efforts in the provision of additional infrastructure for more development. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
Specialists in the renewable energy ecosystem advocate effective balance in the use of energy mix in line with the national policy to possible avert energy poverty posed by the need to deepen energy transition drive. Amaka Owo has more on this.
The concept of clean energy, experts say, emerged from a global consensus of mitigating the harmful effects of climate change. This, experts agree, has given rise to the expansion of renewable energy portfolios, which, according to the United Nations, accounts for most energy sources in recent times. Africa is set to contribute less than 3% to global carbon emissions, with Nigeria occupying a significant position.
We have already an energy transition policy where the policy is meant to guide our energy usage from the heavily dependent fossil usage to gradually move into green energy sources like solar, biomass, and all the rest of them.
Experts provide an assessment of a roadmap towards net zero emissions by 2060.
In any economic setting like Nigeria, three factors are intertwined: energy, the economy, and the environment. You can't dissociate them because they affect each other. So the government must put in place an opportunity to integrate these three components within the economic sector.
So there's a target of 5 million tons to have been hit by the year 2029, and we're hoping that with all that the government has been doing in terms of infrastructure support, funding support, that would help us hit that mark. So I would say really that Nigeria is ready, and we've seen a lot of deeper penetration of cooking gas within the markets.
Technological advancement, experts recommend, is needed for adequate carbon capture to curb the effects of extreme weather conditions. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
And that's it from Lagos. The network news will continue with Najatu in Abuja when we return from this break.
Thanks for staying tuned. It's time to join Musa in his business corner for highlights. Musa?
Thank you, Naja. With the 2026 budget cycle firmly anchored on the approved 2026-2028 medium-term expenditure framework, MTEF, and fiscal strategy paper, FSP, the Budget Office of the Federation has commenced a nationwide post-budget preparation, sensitization, and training to address long-standing bottlenecks in the budget formulation process. The 4-day program, holding simultaneously across the 6 geopolitical zones, places emphasis on deepening MDA mastery of the Government Integrated Financial Management Information System, GIFMIS, eliminating platform-related frustrations and ensuring that personnel, overhead, and capital budget submissions are accurate, verifiable, and fully aligned with national fiscal objectives.
Today, to do 3 things. 1, to translate policy intent into budget choices, to raise the credibility of submissions and executions, and to improve results for citizens, not just spending.
And out of fintech, the Central Bank of Nigeria says fintech innovation is a key driver of the country's digital finance growth. Latest report by the Apex Bank highlights fintech's leadership in real-time payments and its role in promoting financial inclusion, efficiency, and system stability. Based on surveys and stakeholder consultations, the report outlines steps for responsible, scalable innovation, including improved regulatory coordination, cross-border expansion, and effective execution. The CBN says the report will serve as a blueprint for banks, fintech firms, regulators, and investors. Now, the Nigerian stock market closed with marginal gains as the all-share index aged up to 165,384.63 points amid cautious trading. Total equity capitalization rose to 106.16 trillion naira, reinforcing the market's positive momentum and underscoring the growing valuation of listed equities. Premier Pence led the gainers with 10% share price appreciation, closing at 11 naira per share, followed by Universal Insurance Company, Dark Communications, and RT Briscoe. That brings you up to speed on business news. Najai, it's back to you.
Thank you very much, Musa. Still talking business, Governor Soludo confirms that Onitsha main market has finally opened on Mondays for economic and business activities. The governor shared the news while monitoring compliance of the directive to end the sit-at-home order.
I have come to shop at main market. Today is the first Monday in 5 years that main market, the biggest market in West Africa, will be open. I want to thank all of you who have come, very patriotic, courageous traders, businessmen. There is security in Anambra. Everywhere is bustling. You have confirmed it.
What we are now praying for is for outside customers to understand the need to be in the market on Mondays.
Some people have patronized me this morning, but we are expecting more patronage from other neighboring states and communities.
The Anambra have now come up. The traders are now willing to stand with the security agencies in making sure that this bad behavior comes to an end.
The government of Anambra State, led by Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, is concerned about the people, because you staying at home means you're losing revenue.
NITDA warns Nigerian cyber users and professionals relying on AI models that serious vulnerabilities exist in OpenAI's GPT-4 and GPT-5. These flaws can allow attackers to manipulate the AI's outputs and potentially access users' sensitive data. In a statement, the agency identifies 7 critical weaknesses, adding that hidden malicious instructions can be embedded in normal web content, such as social media comments or shortened links, causing AI to unknowingly execute harmful commands during routine tasks like summarizing text or browsing. Other exploits include bypassing safety filters, hiding dangerous content through markdown bugs, and memory poisoning to slowly change the AI's behavior over time, leading to data leaks or unauthorized actions. Although OpenAI says it has patched some issues, large language models still struggle to detect cleverly disguised malicious instructions. NITDA therefore advises users to be cautious, always verify AI outputs, and stay alert to suspicious online content. We'll take a break now. Stay tuned. You're just in time for Sports Update with Ayo Makinde. Ayo, what's happening?
Well, quite a handful, but let's take as much as we can. The Nigeria Aquatics Federation is taking strategic steps for the future and growth of swimming and other water sports in the country. President of the Federation, Chamberlain Dungu, outlined various grassroots development programs like Swimming to the Future in Abuja and the first inter-school swimming competition, as well as the National Junior Swimming Championship coming up in Lagos State.
That is water polo, swimming, and open water, even diving. So we want to make sure that we even revive diving in Nigeria.
All right, away from that, the week-long Yenagoa Invitational Outdoor Park Volleyball Championship served off with 12 teams drawn in 4 groups of 3 teams in contest for honors. Correspondent Timine Priye Ohia reports that the championship, with the theme United by Net Education in Our Community, targets improving civil-military relations, foster socio-cultural diversity among youth, and family empowerment through educational incentives, and the donation of a training mat to the Bayelsa State para-volleyball team and the award of club and education grants to young players.
Youths will be united through sports, and indeed we are expecting also that they would also benefit from the educational empowerment which the competition also emphasizes.
Well, we're also lucky that we won 3-0. I'm hoping for more wins in the competition.
We put effort in everything to get what we wanted, but it turns out that it didn't get to where we wanted it. But I know that our next match, which is tomorrow, we are going to do better.
The tournament will also honor the memory of late Bayelsa State Deputy Governor Lawrence Orujakpo. Away from Nigeria, Atletico Madrid have completed the signing of Ademola Lookman from Atalanta for £30.3 million till June 2030. The 2024 African Footballer of the Year joined Atalanta from German side RB Leipzig in 2022, scoring 55 goals and providing 27 assists. The 28-year-old joins the Diego Simeone side and will be in contention for his debut in the Copa del Rey against Real Betis on Thursday. Similarly, Leicester City has officially announced the loan signing of Joe Aribo from Southampton. Aribo faced a challenging first half of the season at Southampton, where he made only 7 league appearances, all of which were as substitutes. The Nigerian international is not anticipated to return to Southampton, as his contract is set to expire this summer. Over 4 seasons in the Premier League and Championship, the 29-year-old played a total of 111 matches for Southampton. Kun Khalifat FC may face penalties for failing to fulfill their Premier League Football Match Day 24 against Al Academy Warriors. The highly anticipated encounter did not occur as planned, as the visiting team did not arrive at the venue. Meanwhile, Barrow FC recorded a 1-0 victory against Ikorodu City. Kwara United triumphed over Warri Wolves 2-1, and Plateau United secured a 2-1 win away at Remo Stars in Ikenne. And that's your sports. It's back to Najatu.
Ayo, you say that so well. I tried to copy you last week. I just missed the mark. Thank you, Ayo. And now let's see what the weather has in store.
Quick look at what the weather has in store as we head into Tuesday. If you are in the north central region, keep an eye on the skies. We are seeing a good influx of moisture, so expect a partly cloudy conditions through the day. And by afternoon, yes, those clouds will start to build up. Some areas of the Federal Capital Territory, Niger, Nasarawa, and Benue State may hear a few rumbles of thunder, mostly without rain. Kogi and Kwara State, only a slim chance of thunderstorms, but still worth watching out for. Now, heading down south, there's where things get more active as residents of Oyo, Ogun, Osun, Imo, Ondo, and most cities over the coastal areas should prepare for thunderstorms, especially later in the day. Well, up north, it's simple and dry, plenty of sunshine and rising temperatures. So stay cool and stay hydrated. And that's your weather update. Wherever you are, stay weather ready. I am Akami Samarda, and thank you for watching.
Well, you heard the lady. Always be weather smart. And on that note, we conclude the network news on NTA. Thanks for watching. I'm Najatu Tijani.